Hey y'all, I'm Leanna Hollis with Faith That Lived Out Loud, and this is about take 20 on this video, but we're going to try to get through it. What I want to share with you is a verse from 1 Kings 19. It's the 12th verse, and it speaks of an experience the prophet Elijah had. Now, you probably know that story, but if you don't, Elijah was a prophet during the time of King Ahab and Queen Jezebel. They were just about as bad as it got. Well, in the history of queens, no doubt, Jezebel was as the worst queen of all queens. Anyway, she was terrible. And they were leading the people astray into idolatry. So the Lord said to Elijah, we're about to do some business here, Elijah. Go to the king. This is the Leanna paraphrase. Go to the king and tell him there's not going to be any rain for years until I say it will be. Until you say it, Elijah. You're going to say it. So Elijah goes to the king because when God speaks, we need to listen. Needless to say, Ahab and Jezebel were mad as hornets, and they were all about doing something about Elijah. They thought, I suspect, that they could catch him and torture him into saying rain again. But no, that didn't happen. So finally, there's a big showdown between Elijah and the prophets of Baal. God wins the day in a decisive way. It's a great story, and we may talk about it on another day. A lot of God drama. Now, after that God drama, Jezebel takes a hit out on Elijah, and then she tells him, she sends him a message that says, hey, my assassins are on the way. You'll be dead by tomorrow. Needless to say, Elijah was afraid for his life, and he ran. So he goes a few days' journey. He's worn out. He's like, Lord, just take me out. This is too much. I can't do anymore. And instead, the Lord gives Elijah two things he really needs: sleep and food and rest. He's just still in a safe place, and the angels minister to him. And then the next day, eventually, Elijah's up and running again. And he goes to Mount Sinai, and he's hidden in a cave. Well, in the cave, God calls him out and says, what are you doing here? And Elijah says, hiding. I'm hiding. As if God couldn't protect him where he was. Sometimes we forget that, don't we? When we're so afraid, and God's right there. He's right there. So God gives Elijah a pretty dramatic display. He sends a mighty wind. He sends an earthquake. He sends a fire. And he wasn't in any of that. Instead, God then sent the sound of a gentle whisper, and God was in that. It's that still small voice that you hear people talk about. It's the voice of God speaking directly to Elijah, saying, come talk to me, Elijah. And so he did. He came out of the cave. He talked with the Lord. He got a word not only of encouragement, but of hope for the future. He got a partner to minister with. He got everything he needed. And in the end, God dealt with Jezebel and Ahab. Now, here's the thing I want you to hear. I love the dramatic. I would have loved to see fire from heaven come down and burn up that offering and lap up all the water. But God spoke in the gentle whisper. And what is so much more than the drama of a move of God is the whisper of the voice of God. And so, that's what we try to teach at Whisper Gathering. We teach women to learn how to hear the voice of God. We feed them. We help them be still. And then we help them hear God's voice. Sometimes sin's in the way, and we got to get rid of that. But I hope you will come to Whisper Gathering, because we have a great time. And you can go to whispergathering.com and learn all about it. But what I want you to hear is you don't have to come to Whisper Gathering to learn to hear the voice of God. You don't have to come to Whisper Gathering to see a move of God. You don't even have to come to Whisper Gathering to experience revival. Right where you are today, you can do what Elijah did. Get still and wait on God and listen. Now, most often, God speaks through his word, so open your Bible and ask the Lord to speak to you. Now, You probably will hear that still small voice. But if he just brings conviction through the verses you read, that is his voice too. So, take a few minutes today to listen and get still and hear the voice of God. We'd love for you to join us at Whisper Gathering, but even better is for you to hear the voice of God for yourself today. If there's something in the way, whether it's unforgiveness or some other sin, let it go, then get still and listen. Hey, I'm so grateful you stopped by. I can't wait to hear about what you hear from God. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Have a gloriously blessed day.